All right, here we go. So good morning. Here we
Good
go.
morning. Good morning.
Episode 1 of Real Estate Reality this morning. For those of you that are just joining us, my name is Will Scott. I am part owner in our amazing brokerage here in Orange County, California with my wife, Rachel Scott.
Hello.
And
hello.
one of our incredible team members, Melissa Solia. And we're just going to be chatting it up this morning. We're going to be kind of rocking the industry a little bit. A couple of things that we're going to touch on are confessions of a real estate agent.
Real. Yep.
Yeah, confessions of a real estate agent is what we're doing this morning, right? So
that's true.
Just so you guys know, we're going to be talking about the myth that real estate agents are car salesmen, why they are or why they aren't, right?
Yeah.
Not all agents operate the same or ethically, right? Some people are a little concerned about some of the real estate agents out there and what's going on. Who's truly number one? Who's truly number one in this industry? Everyone's number one, right? And then lastly,
or claim to be,
right? Yeah. And then lastly is open house confessions. Some of the things
some juicy stuff there.
Yeah, some of the juice of what's gone on and what's taken place. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening in out there. If you guys have any questions, make sure you ping us. Feel free to like and comment and share this podcast with anyone that you may know in the real estate industry or anyone that's considering buying or selling property. Let's jump into it this morning. So, Rach, car salesmen. Are we car salesmen in this industry?
No, we're definitely not car salesmen.
No. Why? I think a lot of people think we're car salesmen. I think that's
pushy, making you make a decision, cornering you. So gross. There's some icky agents out there, right?
We're gonna have a lot of upset car salesmen if they watch this podcast.
Right?
I didn't think about that. So.
What do you think our job is? Like, there's this image that we are car salesmen. Like, what do you feel like our job really is, as far as real estate agents?
Rach, you want to go first? Go ahead.
No, you go.
I catch you on the spot.
I can tell you right away, when people ask me if I'm a salesman, I say absolutely not.
No.
Our job is to market and negotiate real estate on our clients' behalf.
Yeah.
Okay? We are in a position where I don't think anyone wants a Vanna White. A house is something you walk into, and a house is something that you know right away whether or not you want to buy that home. Maybe not right away, but
yeah, we're not fancy door openers. I think a lot of people don't give us a lot of credit for what we actually do. I mean, we're basically putting up signs, trying not to get killed by traffic, eating in our cars. Like, these are things you don't see behind the scenes, and we wear many, many hats. But as real estate agents, number one thing that the Will Scott Group says is we don't make decisions for our clients. And a lot of agents overstep that boundary, and I feel like it's so unethically wrong. At the end of the day, it's our client's decision, and we go according to what our clients need and want. But we're here to give you the advice and the expert advice that you need to really make that decision. And that's where hiring a good agent comes into play, right?
So why do you think agents make decisions for their clients? Are you guys seeing that?
I think they just think they know better, and that they want to take the wheel, and they want to just make that transaction close or make that sale happen, and that's where like the ickiness comes into play. It's not right.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a barrier or a wall that needs to be broken down with a lot of agents in the industry that. I don't know how many times I've received a phone call and I've submitted an offer on a property on behalf of a buyer, and the listing agent immediately says, oh, well, my client won't do this, my client won't do that. And I understand there's negotiations involved.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, what I think a lot of maybe viewers don't understand is that all offers have to be presented to the seller, right? I mean that's real estate 101, and a lot of sellers may not understand that you as a seller have to see every offer, even if it's for $1, right?
Yeah.
If I'm listing your property and I get an offer for $1, I got to present you with that offer
within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours of receiving that, we're going to be making sure that we present that offer to our sellers. So, never are we going to be in a position to say, hey, my seller will not accept this offer, and I understand there's strategy. Or how about this? How many times have we submitted an offer and we don't get anything back from the listing agent that even shows? Did you know that there's a place on the RPA the residential purchase agreement that states
Yeah.
that they have accepted or rejected, which is proof of presenting that offer to the seller. I think that's overlooked a lot in this industry,
Yeah.
and we rarely see it. So
I think it's really important for you to have an agent on your side that actually has your back. You know, there are certain things that we know as agents that our clients don't. And for us to be completely honest, that's really the way the Will Scott Group works, is that we actually are here to live by the rules. Because there are rules.
Yes.
And there are
Yep.
legal protection in place that clients may not be aware of.
So, Rach, when you show a property, do you point out all of the amazing features?
I am not
like,
Vanna White. Definitely not. Here's the nice door.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I let them walk in, and I just say, you can go walk through, make yourself at home.
Right.
Make it feel like you're home.
Yeah.
See yourself living there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think we're looking for other things, right? We're looking for stains on the ceilings. We're looking for how the plumbing. We're looking for any disclosures that may have been mentioned in the MLS or the agent notes. Things about the property that maybe buyers don't necessarily look at their first time walking through. Some do, certainly. But I think a lot of times people are looking for the overall feel of the property. They can see that there's granite countertops. They can see that there's crown molding in the property.
Right.
They certainly don't need someone to follow them around and point out all of the quote-unquote features of the home. Would you agree?
Yeah, totally, 100%. I mean, we have enough home improvement shows to really understand what granite looks like.
I'm sure most people have watched these shows. I have never watched one. I can honestly say I have never watched any of the real estate shows that are out
I
there.
have actually showed my client a house that was done on a reality show like that. And when we looked at it on the outside, it looked fantastic. Surface level, everything looked good. But until my client started opening up the cabinet and it scraped the top of the ceiling, and you
Wow.
could see the floorboard just covered over by laminate. You could see it just straight underneath on the bottom of the floor. There are times where that looks great on TV and people cut corners. So these are things that your agent needs to point out to you if you're okay with that.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. That's why we're not Vanna Whites.
No.
Yeah, we want to bring something of value, right, to our clients on the buyer side. So what about the seller side? I mean, how are we not car salesmen, right? From a standpoint of selling a property or negotiating with other people or other agents and buyers.
I mean, walk into a house that we're potentially looking to list or have something as a listing, and they've got a pink wall behind us. You know, that's something that we're going to point out, be like, hey, you might want to neutralize that before we go live. And that's something that's really cool that we do with our concierge service. You know, we're here to give you all the things to get you top dollar for your house, including staging, photos, and videography as well.
Yeah, managing expectations. Managing expectations, I think, is going to be one of the key things for sellers to understand or have an expectation from their agents when they hire an agent. If you're hiring an agent to be a yes sir, yes ma'am type of individual, I don't know if, look, we're all for customer service and we want to make sure that we're providing very good service to our clients, but you're not going to find yes sir, yes ma'am people all the time, right?
No.
It's literally our job to make your home look its best and put sellers in a position to showcase their property to the masses, right? Mm-hmm. We walk through properties and we say, it's nothing to do with your decor. Your decor may be great for you.
But it's
right?
not for everybody. No.
But it may not be for everybody, right?
No, the buyer has to envision living there. And sometimes it's just a rearranging of furniture too, you know, and decluttering your house and depersonalizing your house is so important. Like, you may have the most beautiful photo shoot of your children and everything, but we always advise, you know, to depersonalize if you don't want that showcased. But a lot of people have a lot of things on bookshelves and things to help declutter your home, will help sell it and photograph well.
What about from an interior design standpoint, right? I mean, I don't see very often that you find a car on a car lot and then you go, hey, let's redesign the entire car to try and make it sell better, right? I mean, is that something that we do from a design standpoint?
That is exactly what we do. We design it from the inside out pretty much to get the top dollar that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Say you need new paint, we put that new paint on. Say you need new flooring, we do the new flooring. Staging, right? Pick out the right flooring, the right paint. because not everybody likes bright green walls,
Yeah.
bright blue walls. You need to make it just a blank palette, pretty much.
It makes a huge difference when you take photos.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen iPhone photos on the MLS, which is our database of homes, that are on the market. So it's irritating.
Rachel's a certified interior designer. Certified, licensed. What is
Certified.
Went to school? Certified. Is that what it's called?
You're
I-
official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel holds her interior design degree, so just in case anyone's
Yeah.
wondering if she's knowing what she's talking about there. So ethically, I'm sure we've all got some stories about unethical agents and or clients.
Where do I start?
For that matter, and or clients for that matter. I want to start by saying, first and foremost, when it comes to any of this content and or this podcast,
Disclaimer.
I'll throw in the disclaimer now, right? Of hey, we're not here to try. This is supposed to be raw, pure, uncut. This is who we are. If you don't like it, feel free to keep swiping or don't view the rest of this video. From a seller standpoint or a buyer standpoint, we're at a point in our careers where we want to attract the type of individual who can appreciate an honest and trustworthy individual.
And want to work with us, right?
And that want to work with us.
Yeah.
So we're looking for individuals who can appreciate someone who is going to tell it to you as it is and make sure that we are always honest and upfront with you, which was the basis of this podcast. We do not try to change anything or add fluff, if you will. And again, we may not be for everybody, and we're okay with that. So it's very important that, I think more than anything, you have to find a match when it comes to buying or selling real estate. We'll get into that as far as marketing and who's number one and all this stuff that goes on. But not all agents and or clients are ethical out there.
No, they are not.
There's a lot of pain being a real estate agent. There's a lot of pain.
It's a definite roller coaster.
What kind of-
Right?
Emotions just ride high and ride low sometimes.
I feel like a psychologist or a
Yeah,
you know.
we wear many hats.
Definitely.
Interior designers, therapists, you name it.
They didn't teach you that in real estate
No,
school?
they did not. They left that part out. That's something you learn in the
Definitely
hard knocks
know
way.
the square footage of a mile, though.
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
And how about let's talk about ethics.
There's something that they teach us in real estate school is that we have a fiduciary duty, that we have to disclose what we know about the property, that we have to be upfront and honest with our clients, and not all agents know that or live by that, I should say. They all know that. They took the oath when they got their license.
Right.
But there are a lot of things that agents leave out and leave it to inspection.
Yeah, say there's a meth lab next door or
True story.
a band next door,
So you mean you have to disclose that? Is that what
You
you're
have
saying?
to disclose everything you know about the house.
Yes, and so do the sellers, and that's something that we advise, because there's legal boundaries there too. Like
Yep.
if you know about it, if you know something, say something. That's, I think, what she's to live by with this, but most people don't.
Yeah.
Most agents don't.
So do you feel like a lot of agents out there are withholding information? What would be the reason for agents withholding information on a property that they've listed or that they're showing to a buyer? What's
Pretty obvious. They just want it to sell.
The commission?
Just sweeping it under the rug. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Depends on how fast the sellers need it to sell as well, you know?
Yeah, if someone died in the property, that's something you should know about, and that should be disclosed. And some people don't want to disclose those things. That's something you can't see or you wouldn't know about till afterwards. You have the ghost stories.
Yeah, there are plenty of ghost stories, plenty of saging.
We'll save that for
Okay,
open house confessions or
We
the
have that
other
coming
part of
up.
the real estate confessions
Sure.
that are coming up. So so from an ethics standpoint, do we as agents have a fiduciary duty to disclose all information then to a buyer or to a seller that we have knowledge of the property, correct?
That's
And
correct,
anything
yeah.
that we know about the property has to be disclosed to a buyer or seller. How about from a price point standpoint or managing expectations? You ever get into a situation where maybe an agent says they have an offer or multiple offers and you find out later maybe they don't have as many offers or any offers for that matter, and it's just a ploy.
Oh yeah, I mean, just look at last year. There were multiple offer situations, and there was counter offers sent out, and it was send your best and final, and it's a guessing game. And for me, it's at the end of the day, I still have to protect my client. I still have to have their best interest in hand. Everybody was giving their left kidney to buy the house last year, and it was insane. So we have clients that will fluff, or not clients, sorry, agents that will fluff and say, yeah, we've got another offer coming in. But until that offer is in hand and that it's proven, really it's all talk. It's just to get you to come up and money. And it's, icky agent.
But I would say some sellers, maybe some sellers want that from their agent, right? Maybe they want to play that game. I mean, how would you advise a seller that says, yeah, play the game, let's get as much as much
I feel
money
like
as we can.
I feel like being upfront and say you have 19 offers.
Yeah.
Right? And you're being upfront with every agent that you talk to and saying, this is what I have. I have 1,090,000, and say that's the highest offer. You want to come up, or can your clients come up? Can they not come up? It gives them that.
I don't find a point in hiding all that. I really don't.
Yeah.
It saves everybody time and writing up the contract and, saving the clients, expectations and disappointment and emotions that go into it. It's like, why not be upfront like we are?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think most sellers would first off, you have to get sellers' permission in order to disclose the purchase price, right, when you're negotiating. So that's number one, making sure that we're in compliance. So we certainly know that aspect of things, but
Definitely.
more importantly, I think you would gain the respect of a buyer and of a buyer's agent if you're fully transparent with them about what's going on. Now, I understand some sellers may not want you releasing that information, and we certainly have to respect their sellers' wishes where that's concerned. But in my experience, the majority of sellers are okay with disclosing what their purchase or what offers they have in hand in an effort to respect the buyer's time, to get the buyer up in price, and to negotiate on your behalf to get the home at its top dollar and highest market value, right? Who dictates the price of a house, right? The buyers. Yeah, buyers are who dictate the price of a home. So it's not, we have an opinion, and that's all it is an opinion. We can look at comparables and we can look at comps, but ultimately it's buyers who dictate what they want to pay for a property. So
I think it's really important for buyer agents and seller agents to really work together. Like, there is no, I'm on this side, you're on this side. If buyer agents and seller agents can work together, it would make for a smoother transaction.
Well, and really, real estate agents are just a liaison between the buyer
They should be.
and the seller.
Yeah.
Right? That's all we are. We're a liaison between the two, and that's it.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that is why we don't make decisions for our clients.
Exactly.
We really are just going back and forth, helping you and advising you, but we don't make the decision for you.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I like it. So let's talk about emotions real quick. Emotions with sellers, right? Sellers and buyers, but let's focus on sellers for a minute. How emotional do transactions get?
Very. It could be all kinds of scenarios. And it goes back to the motivation of why they're selling in the first place sometimes. Maybe it's a divorce case. And when
50% of
Yeah.
our business is divorce cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because you got two parties that you're trying to, make happy. But when we come in and we meet you, we're setting expectations right out the gate. We're really going to be upfront and honest with you. We're not going to give you this fluff marketing, aspect of it. We're going to sit down with you and say, hey, this is what the market's doing. Is this the good time for you to sell?
Well, and if you're a seller, you're going to want to ask for a CMA from your
Exactly.
agent.
Yeah.
Or agents that you're interviewing.
Yeah.
Do
Do these number align with your goals and why you want to sell?
Exactly.
So, emotions. Everyone has this emotional attachment to their home, and then there's the financial aspect of it. And it could go always.
Which brings up the emotions. Finance and the emotions
Yeah.
and money is just,
Yeah.
We're living in hard times.
Who's number one? Everybody apparently in this industry is number
It
one.
doesn't matter.
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter when you're picking
No.
an agent.
It doesn't matter. I mean, last year it didn't matter. Look at all the agents. They were using their mom, their dad, their grandma, their aunt, their uncle.
You got a license? Let's go.
But wait a minute. If I'm a seller in this industry, I want to pick the number one agent in my community because they sell everything and they're super, super busy, so they have to be the best choice.
But how do you know that? Because you see their name on an open house sign, or
that
you see their
I'm
flyer that you could say, I could say I'm number one.
But I'm telling you, I got 3 flyers and everybody says they're number one. So somebody's got to really be number one, and that's who I want to hire.
I beg to differ.
Is that who you want to hire?
Yeah. I'm a seller, and I want to hire the number one agent. So how can I find out who truly is number one? This is what I would say. Who's number one for you, right? Who's number one for you? Number one in the community, who's going to answer their phone? If somebody has 30 listings because they're gobbling up every listing in the neighborhood, what type of customer service are you going to get from that individual?
Not any customer service.
Zero.
There are times when agents don't even answer their phone, and they don't even call you back. Is that the type of agent you want to hire?
Nope.
Even though they're number one, they got a pretty face on a billboard?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to hire that agent that has 30 listings, and I want someone that's going to be there at my beck and call, pretty much, if I'm selling my home.
But if they have 30 listings, ladies, they have to be really, really good at what they do. And the person that's got 5 listings must not be very good.
Some people just take the listings, I have to say, and it's not going to sell. It just sits on the market for 120 days because they take it too high.
So this is what I would encourage any seller out there that's thinking about hiring just the number one agent that's in their community, right? My recommendation is this: interview 2 to 3 agents, find out exactly who's the best fit for you, who is managing your expectation, who's being brutally honest with you, not who has the best marketing, or not who claims to have the best marketing. And most importantly, you have to put yourself into a position where you have to ask, am I going to be able to communicate with this individual, right? And I would encourage you to ask for how many of their listings have expired or canceled in the last 6 months.
Yeah,
I would say in the last year.
And in the last year, yeah.
We're seeing a lot of those come up, a lot of expirations come up on our MLS.
And a lot of down arrows because the market is shifting.
Well, here's the thing. When you are interviewing those 2 to 3 agents, I think it's really important for you to look for, well, we have a list of questions that we can give you, honestly, but look for whatever your best interest is. As a client, this is my goal. Does that agent hear you? Mm-hmm. Does that agent align with what you want to do with your home? And go forward with that.
And not just tell you, oh, you're going to get
it's gonna sell
this
itself.
amount of money. This amount of money, and this is what you're going to get. Because pretty soon, it's going to be a down arrow right now in this market.
Pisses me off about most agents is that they overpromise and underdeliver.
Let's talk about it. Talk about it, Melissa.
It ticks me off. I'm going to come in here with my binder full of fancy things and my marketing and show you how many homes I sold. Well, great. That's all great. But really, I want to see results. I want you to understand what I want to do as a client. I want to see what you're going to bring me and how you're going to match my goals.
Yep.
I mean, I could fluff and give you all the fancy photos, but really I want to sit down with you and ask you what's important to you.
Yeah, I can't count how many times I have gone into a listing and been brutally honest about a purchase price or what the expectation is based on comparables and based upon what I know about the industry and the market of where it is shifting, and had someone tell me, oh, well, so-and-so has told me that I can get $50,000 more. Or
so I'm going to go with him
more.
or them.
So I'm going to go with them. And then I slowly watch as it hits the market and the price reductions take place. I mean, it's a strategy. Let's be honest. It's a strategy for listing agents. I'm going to put it out there to promise the world and give the client whatever they want. Back to what we said earlier, being the yes sir, yes ma'am type of individual, and then beat a price reduction out of their clients. Because what most sellers don't realize is when you sign the listing agreement, you are bound to use that agent for the period that's at the top and reference at the top of the listing. So many people, do not understand that a listing agreement has a length of time attached to it.
Yep.
If you are not comfortable or don't know the individual who you're working with or don't feel the trust of the individual you're working with, I would highly recommend taking a shorter listing period instead of 6 months to a year where you're now locked in with this agent and have to go through the entire brokerage to try and cancel this listing.
And there are so many options for you as a seller. You can hold it off market. You can hold it for 30 days. You can have it shown to one specific client. Is your agent explaining your options to you? And a lot of the times, they're looking at the end goal. Some agents are looking at the end goal for themselves. What are they going to pocket?
Yep.
And it's what I call icky agents. They don't have your best interest at hand.
Nope.
So don't some of these agents have like amazing marketing? Because I hear that all the time.
For sure.
Our
Yeah,
marketing,
just like us. We have amazing marketing.
Our marketing is the best. You cannot compete with our marketing. So what do we have to say about this?
Everyone has the same marketing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the same thing. It's the same Canva, post, picture,
Video, drone footage.
and
Come
drone
on.
footage.
Walk through the home tour.
I can already hear agents on the other end that are watching this screaming, going, these guys don't know what they're talking about. My marketing is superior.
No.
They don't understand marketing. Don't hire these people. They don't know what marketing is.
That's all great. But at the end of the day, a buyer who's going to look at your home is going to go on Zillow or Redfin or somewhere else and just scroll through photos and then go to the next house if it doesn't match up. So really, is your
Definitely.
marketing and all the fluff that you're talking about really that profitable?
So if we lay out all 5 or 10 of the top brokers and brokerages in Orange County, California, and we ask all of them to lay out their marketing plan, I think it's pretty safe to say that the majority of the top producers are going to have the exact same marketing plan, right?
And everyone has the same reach. The same reach. Globally,
Yeah.
they have the same reach.
Then why do some agents do so much more business than other agents? This has to be their marketing.
No.
No?
No.
No.
So what is it?
I think you know the answer to this question. Will's dying to say it.
Yeah. I think he wants to say it.
I
What do you wanna
no,
say?
no. The answer to the question is I think it becomes a popularity contest is what it
so
becomes.
high school.
It's like high school. Definitely.
Prom queen.
Cheerleader.
It is a popularity contest, right?
Totally.
It's who sits down and really asks the hard questions. We have a list of about 15 to 30 questions
Yes.
that sellers should be asking their real estate agents, right? If you want a copy of it, feel free to comment. We'll send you a copy of this.
Yeah.
This is what you should be asking real estate agents
Yeah.
when you sit down and interview them. And this includes the top producer in your community. And I think you'll be shocked to find out that a lot of them cannot answer or get through all 30 of these
no.
questions.
There is
No.
one thing that I do or that we do with our clients when we sit down with them at a listing presentation. We actually go through the contracts. We actually explain to you what you're going to be signing
Yeah.
and what an offer, when it comes in, what it's going to look like.
Section by section.
This is basically having your back as your agent. This isn't me getting a paycheck. This is making sure that you're happy with me because we are in the referral business. Like, I want you to refer me. I want to do a good job. And last thing I'll say is we are not lazy agents. I mean, I wish I could have a camera follow me around all day and show exactly
We can
what
make that
do.
happen.
Show exactly what we do, picking up dead birds.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the key is saying not that you're not a lazy agent and the legal protection. We mentioned it earlier. Our job is not to sell you anything, right? And to be quite honest with you, yes, we have to sell your home, but we sell your home through marketing and negotiations, right? And part of that is
100%.
legal protection. If you don't have someone who's ready to legally protect you and go through the contract with
Yeah.
you, how many sellers actually even know what a residential purchase agreement is, right? Or what the details in a residential purchase agreement is?
Nope.
Listing agents will sit down and they'll go through the listing agreement with you. They'll go through the presentation with you. And then they'll get to the listing agreement part and they'll forget and they'll walk out of the house
Right.
and not even mention that, hey,
Yeah.
that's great you signed this contract, but what you haven't reviewed with me is the offer that's going to be coming in from the buyers. There has to be restrictions and guidelines for the seller when it comes to that contract, right?
Preparation, 100% preparation on that. You know, it's really preparing your client to, like you said, setting expectations of what's to come when we do go live. What's the timeline? And the other thing that we do is after every open house, we send a recap this is how many people walk through your home. This is how many people that inquired about your house.
Yeah.
This is how many offers we have coming
Yeah.
in. Communication is
It's
so
key.
key. I
It's
can't,
key.
and everybody knows that about any relationship, but it's so important to our clients so they're not in the dark about what we're actually doing
Right.
to show that we are not lazy agents.
Nope.
I remember one of the first listings, maybe not the first listings I took, but when I was new in my career 16 years ago, I was going against one of the dominant farmers in the industry, or in the community and in the industry. And I was so nervous to go do this listing presentation in our community. And I didn't have the knowledge that I have today. I promised myself that I would never get to a point in this industry that I knew everything about the industry. I do not know anything.
You can't.
Every day,
Yeah.
every day is a new learning.
Every transaction's different.
Every transaction is learning, so don't
Yeah.
get me wrong by any means. I do not know everything about this industry, but I certainly have more knowledge than I did at the time. And when I went into this listing presentation, it came down to them saying, Will, why, after I got done with my presentation, they said, why in the world would I use you when the dominant individual in this community I've already interviewed, and they will do this for the exact same price and the similar marketing plan that you had. And the only thing that I could come up with, and I'll always remember it to this day, was I said, because if you're telling me that they're going to do the same thing that I am, I'm going to trust that my rapport with you is more important. And let's be honest, I need the paycheck more than they do. So who do you think is going to work best for you?
Or work harder.
And work
Harder
harder,
and smarter.
right?
Yeah.
And I got the listing. And ever since that day, I've told myself, okay, I'm not selling anything, okay? I'm presenting myself. I got to talk from my heart. I got to be pure and honest with my clients. And if
Right.
I can do that, the individuals who respect that are going to respect you. And I found it makes for a better transaction, right? It
Yeah.
makes for a better transaction when you're working with the people you want to work with.
That goes to say all agents are different.
Yeah.
We are not all the same. We don't operate all the same. Even though we have the same end goal for you,
That's correct.
we don't operate within the process the same.
And all agents are different because everybody's different as well. And you can,
Totally.
there's so many agents out there, you can pick the agent that you want to work with.
Yeah,
That
it is.
suits you,
Yeah.
pretty much.
It is an oversaturated market for
Definitely.
agents. But, picking and weeding through the right one, it aligns with who you are as a client and your goals and your ethics as
Right.
well, too.
Right.
And I can't stress ethics enough. So, yeah.
All right, so let's get into the
My favorite part.
I know. You guys are dying to talk about this. Let's get into it. So, open house confessions. Open house confessions of a real estate agent.
Stuff we see.
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Who wants to go first? Let's go.
I want to hear from Rachel because I feel
Okay.
like Rachel's got some good ones.
Open house confession number 1. Or showings, for that
Showings,
matter.
yeah.
I get a call from an agent with a picture attached. What do you think that picture had on it? Underwear! Chonies! Someone left their underwear hanging on the banister.
Even Siri wants to know.
Even Siri wants to know. Yeah. That is one confession
So
that
wait. Let me get.
That's
let me-
normal. You're not supposed to leave your
No,
panties out.
you're supposed to put your underwear and bras away, folks.
Well, okay, but in their defense, there's laundry rooms, so they just left their
No,
their chonies in the laundry room, and people are gonna see
walk
them.
upstairs and they're all along the banister.
Wow.
That has happened to me at least 3 times.
3 times.
3 times, yeah.
So did the sellers know that there was a showing taking place?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
So how did you handle that?
I just said, excuse the
panties on the banister.
panties.
They do not come with the house.
Yeah. That does not come with the house. Just keep walking.
Just keep walking.
So it's safe to say open house preparation, or if you're preparing your home for showings, is key. Again, back to
Definitely.
communication with your agent. Something tells me the
Definitely.
agent there maybe wasn't communicating or had a seller that wasn't willing to mesh with them very well, yeah?
Well, yeah.
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 Melissa, open house confessions from Melissa Solia.
Well, I've had one. I've had a client who, I had this open house. I had a client across the way that I knew, and they were going through a mess of a divorce, and the ex-wife, I guess you would say, came in. And our children play together, and she basically misinterpreted who I was and went off on me while there was a client in the house.
Oh,
So
boy.
so you had to manage some emotions, it sounds
yeah.
like, in the transaction there.
Oh, boy.
It's keeping composure, being a professional, and also protecting my own rear and asking that person to leave.
Yeah, so as a woman in the industry, I think it's important, right? And that's maybe something that isn't talked about
Yeah.
enough in the industry is
No.
just like a restaurant or a fine dining establishment, you have the right to refuse service from anybody, right? So that you're
Totally.
holding someone else's home open and you
Yeah.
have the right to tell them, hey, I'm going to need to politely ask you to leave.
I think it's hard for women sometimes, though, because say we're at an open house, and this happened to me a few years ago. I was doing an open house for a home, and I had lots of people come through. And then this gentleman came through, and he was kind of off. You could kind of, just in my stomach, you could kind of feel, okay, something's weird about this dude. He walked through the home, and then he left. But then after everyone left, he came back.
Oof.
And he asked me to come upstairs with him. And what do you do at that moment? Well, I said, okay, just walk through the home. You can take a look. I'll be right there. Dialed my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband dialed his friends. And then 2 hunky men came and rescued me. But that can't always happen. So what do you say? Like, have Mace with you? What do you do? Dial 911?
No,
I mean,
you step out of the house.
there's
Yeah.
some crazy shit that goes on. Excuse my language, but
Yeah.
crazy
No, there
stuff
is.
that can happen to women in the
People
real
don't
estate.
realize this is one of the most dangerous jobs to have. I mean, anyone can call up your sign, ask you to open the house for them,
Yeah.
and it could be a robbery situation. And you meet strangers all the time. I mean, COVID is nothing compared to what can actually happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, things can get real. Real.
So I think when I think about open house confessions, the main thing that comes to mind isn't maybe not as crazy as some of the stories that you guys have shared, but is more of just the onslaught of buyers that come through with absolutely no regard for entering into someone else's home.
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
seen everything from it being a rainy day and tracking mud through the home, not removing shoes.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, these are not on my listings. These are things that I have seen in the industry or heard about. We make it very clear that we are in control of the house and of our client's house and hold open houses
Always
correctly.
be respectful
But-
when you're walking in a home.
Yeah,
you know?
that and children. I mean, some people walk into the house and literally
Let their children fly.
run wild through the house. I don't know how many times I've had to say politely and respectfully, can you please grab your children, as this is not your home and it is not my home either.
Right?
Right?
I've been
not
talking to
responsible.
someone. I've been talking to a client that was in an open house, and there would be children banging on the piano while I'm trying to talk to a client.
And they're like, oh, no big deal.
Oh,
you,
no.
you hear the background music?
Ah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's the number one item? What is the number one item stolen from open houses in the real estate industry?
Medicine.
Medicine.
Prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Prescription drugs. Maybe people don't realize that. Medicine
Lock 'em
cabinets. Lock them up.
This
Yeah.
is where
Lock 'em
when
up.
we come in and list your home, we warn you about these things, not just to declutter, but put away your valuables, put them somewhere else, put them in a bank somewhere else. You know, things can go missing because
Yeah.
we are opening your house to the public. And that's why it's important for us. We set the tone early on when anyone comes in. We have them sign in. We know who you are. You know, it's important.
And we
So-
always can't be with those people going through
Through
the
the
home,
house.
though.
No,
Because
that's
there's
creepy.
so many people coming through the home, and you're
Right.
not gonna, just hover over these people.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to put your valuables away.
So we've talked about a lot of things today. We've touched on a lot of different topics and jumped around. One thing that I want to say that I feel like it all goes back to is making sure that you hire someone that can communicate with you and be honest with you, managing the expectations that take place when you're listing a property or even when you're going on or beginning the process of buying a property is very, very important that you have somebody who can set these expectations and make sure that you understand what's ahead of you on this road. It's not just about the marketing and the listing presentation that you may see from one individual. Even if that individual was referred from a friend or from someone who you respect, I would highly encourage you to get a copy of our questions that we provide to sellers, interview individuals, and make sure that you're taking the time to see if this person is going to be real and honest and authentic with you about what's to come, right?
Yeah.
And most importantly, understands the legal parameters that they have in place to make sure that they're protecting you as the seller. So it's been fun.
It's been real.
It's been cool.
Awesome.
It's been awesome. I feel like I got some weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna walk away from here and then have so much more that we're like, oh, we wish we would have shared. But
Totally.
The good news is,
Stay tuned.
Next time.
stay tuned. We got more to come.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wrap for now. Make sure that you like, follow, comment, share. Any kind of questions you may have about the real estate industry or buying or selling property, we are open to. Feel free to message us, and we will give you an honest, transparent, and real response for anything as we are. That's right. So yeah, looking forward to the next time. Thank you, ladies, for your time. Everyone out there, have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon.